This doesn't light your fireman, the pilot lights out.
This football team is coming into our place. We're standing in our way.
This is a game of the heart. Focus and finish.
So who you got Saturday? Tajh Boyd or famous Jameis? Saturday's college football primetime event is arguably the biggest game in ACC football history, with number 5 Florida State versus number 3 Clemson. I agreed to do a radio interview this morning for ESPN Radio, and the question was asked of me who I think the best college football fantasy play was this week, Tajh Boyd or Jameis Winston, prompting phone calls into the show to explode. Boyd leads the ACC in total offense with over 328 yards per game, and in passing yards with over 297 yards per game, with an impressive 15 TDs and just 2 interceptions. Now, Winston ranks just behind Boyd in total offense with over 315 yards per game, and in passing with over 288 yards per game, while ranking number 4 in the nation in adjusted quarterback rating. I'll tell you what I told the ESPN listeners this morning. No disrespect to Winston, but I'm going to go with the senior Boyd here. The fact that he's got Sammy Watkins to throw to doesn't hurt. All right, on to the NFL. Look, you guys can argue with me all you want, but I still don't see how Trent Richardson can be used as an RB1. After 4 games with the Colts, there's no more he'll be fine after he learns the offense. He's played 6 games now with 2 different teams, and he's 34th in the league in rushing with just 191 yards. He's averaging just 3.1 yards per carry and 47.8 yards per game. And it's not like he's a goal line magnet. He's got 2 TDs this season. It's almost like when you give him the ball, he elects to run into someone trying to go through them rather than finding a hole to run through. In college, that may have worked, but in the NFL, not so much. You want to be stubborn and keep using him as an RB1? Fine, don't come crying to me in week 12 with desperate questions about what you should do now because you screwed up. Trent Richardson is owned in over 99% of leagues, and he's perhaps the most over-owned player I can think of. So who do you replace Trent Richardson with? Well, I have to see your waiver wire list, but Zac Stacy is someone I'd consider. He's definitely the guy in St. Louis now, rushing for 78 and 79 yards the last 2 weeks, averaging 4.9 yards per carry. And now that he's starting to be used as more of a feature back, his goal line opportunities are going to come. Rookie wide receiver Keenan Allen continues to flourish in San Diego. Last night he had 9 catches for 107 yards and a touchdown with a game-high 12 targets. We've been talking about him quite a bit here, and so I went on NFL.com before the show to see how many of you owned him. 9%! What the hell are you people doing? We talk about him here nearly every week. If you had Randall Cobb, go pick up Keenan Allen now! Justin Blackmon won't practice much this week with a sore groin and hamstring, but he'll play in Week 7 against the Chargers, and with Cecil Shorts out, he's the go-to guy. Expect a 3rd consecutive strong fantasy day from the guy I like to call Dez Bryant Light. Today's Twitter question comes from @Badgerman, who wants to know if he should sit Aaron Rodgers with so many of his receivers hurt. No. As a matter of fact, you bump up the value of Jordy Nelson, Jermichael Finley, and even Eddie Lacy this week against the Browns. Those who are on the field with Rodgers this week will get more opportunity. As for Rodgers, he'd be fine if you were running routes for him. Now, if you have a question you want answered, hit me up with a tweet. And if I don't use your question, I'll tweet you back for my best advice. And be sure to tune in to the Roto Experts Fantasy Football News, Notes, and Analysis segment every weekday. I'll be here to keep you current and ahead of the competition, and on weekends come back for This Week in Fantasy Football as I team up with the King, Scott Engel, covering the week that was, the week that will be, and answering your viewer questions. For Roto Experts, I'm Mike Cardano.